I promise that the ending always stays the same, so there's no good.
Hey, happy Sunday, everyone. Do you know what? I'm just trying to figure out what it is I do. I partake in a royal mess, and I'm amongst all these incredible YouTubers that search and find these resources and information to share with you. And I've not got that in me to investigate so deeply, and I applaud them and I pinch myself being amongst them. And for me, over the last couple of years, it's finding these words, this way of communication. I suppose a communication that's always been there because of growing up in abuse, in that survival mode, in how I always had to strip back this facade, is that a word? Facade? In front of me, this smoke screen of feelings of anger and frustration, to strip it back purely to reality, to the situation in front of me. And like you, like me, I've been frustrated and angry. How dare Harry and Meghan continue with these titles? Strip them, Charles. Like, do what's right for your country. Do what the king would do, like your mom would say, what the queen would do. And you can grow this feeling inside of this frustration. But when you purely strip it back to the reality of the situation, of what we see in front of us, what does those titles actually mean? And I know there is a frustration and a reality to it as a whole, but the actual feeling, what are they getting from these titles? Yes, they're getting contracts, but every signature they sign, it damages those titles above them and makes them look less sublime. And I've wrote a few words, naturally, and this whole writing and words, and people say such wonderful things, and that's hard to take in, but I really do enjoy finding this new way of communication, discovering it in myself, although it's obviously always been there, but having a platform and a voice to share it out, to help you to find some balance. Because for me, it's always been about balance, and I suppose that's why I speak out about Harry and Meghan, because I witness such unbalance, you know. So here's my few bits about a title and what it actually means and what we actually see against all the smokescreen of feelings that conjure up with every move they make, in every action and behaviour they do. A title and what it means to me. A title bestowed to a child born into a monarchy and family. A title given and passed over as they take a hand in marriage. A nobility placed over one's face, but it doesn't mean that face is a noble being. It's up to them to match up and to align with the sovereign, for ultimately it's just a word added onto a name to place them above and be connected to the one who is in the current reign. A tradition that's rolled out for hundreds of years now, to give back and for them to take and serve, to show their name and weight behind this title so great. For me, it's a visual and a feeling. Like the Queen said, it's seeing and believing. It's carrying faith in the ones who carry that name alongside and in front of their birth name and rights. So this is why I, as a person and a people, look up and think, no, this title above you is wasted and broken, for it's no longer the unspoken. For above it is a gain, but physically placed in that way is not something that people want to see you maintain. For when you use that title to place you above another, it's game over, for it creates a bad. It sits in a negative feeling. It takes it away and diminishes, and really has become with Harry and Meghan no longer seeing is believing. But more so, you have to see it to believe it. They took a title and used it for resources. They drained it all for themselves. For it's about creating that visual of noble. But instead, they chose themselves and that title to make money and stand out over everybody else. They used it to place themselves amongst the it crowd. They used it to try and create an anti-monarchy, which leaves it redundant, placed above their name, for the meaning has gone to waste, and people look at it in bad taste. For a title you need to earn and not use it to hurt. A title is given in honour, but you use it to stand in a court to argue with your honour. You use it to demand applause and garner support. But for you are now that title's cause, in which you now lose, for this is not what it's there for. You are not the one who should gain the reward, for you already had that in your life. You gained from that name given before you. For you can role play with what you have taken and forsaken. You can use it to draw the people in, but time is running out. For every time you speak out and every time you use it to cast out, and every time you place it in defense of your behavior and self, the magic runs out. It disappears and diminishes in front of our eyes, for you never aligned with that title and the importance to honour. You took it for people to bow to you, to look up to you. You did not earn and you have not learnt. You continue to feed, for the two words Duke and Duchess are no longer felt and heard. They are simply mocked and spoke on for your absurd. Like I say, it's a name, but more so a feeling. And a feeling is harder for one to remove than a title you use to gain for you. And that's that really, because that's what it is. It's just a word placed in front of a name. Yes, they've garnered great support in contracts, they've signed to all. But the reality is, when you strip it all back, they are the ones that are gonna fall. People don't look at them and see those names in honour, in dignity. They just see the pain that they've created and carved with that name. So I just wanted to say that really. I'm just a person, not a journalist or an expert. I say all this as my opinion only, and please go and do your own research as I share to you in my true movie kind of review. So yeah, don't worry about what trolls should and shouldn't do, because the people have decided those titles they do not deserve, and we shall not look up in honour.